Heavens is filmed in front of a live studio audience. Well, hey, everybody. That's laugh track. That's laugh track in the back. We should have teched this out before the thing. How's it going, Kevin?
It's going good. It's going good. I've had a crazy couple weeks, but, you know, we're back to normal now.
Laugh track. You're back to normal now, yeah. Well, you know it's not back to normal. My freaking pants size. Laugh track. And boy, howdy, have I had a rough week. My boss has been riding me all night without a saddle. This sucks. This sucks. Why do we do this? You know, every time in this last 2 weeks, which feels like a lot more. I don't know why it does. Maybe because I've been temporally destabilized. But every week I'm in like, fuck, Kevin, come on. What the fuck? I have so much to talk about. And then when I start to actually think about what to talk about, I'm like, I have nothing to talk about. What the fuck are we, what would we even do a show about? And that happened twice, apparently. It felt like it happened a lot more times. But I don't know. I just... Man, I don't know. You know, all of these podcasts are bad. And all of these podcasts, I'm like, man, this is going to suck. But this time, it's for real. This is going to be really bad. I texted Ridley, and we're going to see if we can't get him on next week on the show. Hopefully. But, you know, then it can be back to being good. So feel free to turn this off. Come back next week. But until then...
We did a filler episode tonight, is what Spencer's saying.
I mean, a filler episode might be better. Although, I don't know. A lot of the... When I cut those clip shows, people are always like, man, Jeff sure sucks. And it's like, I don't know. I really like, you know, I'm the one pulling the clips. So we're pulling clips of Jeff saying stuff, and I think it's funny and cool and interesting and stuff. And then people are like, man, the show's so much better when it's just Spencer talking about his ass. You know, we love talking about my ass on the podcast. So let's keep it up. I think I talked about this in the past, where I thought I got food poisoning. But maybe what actually happened is I just ate some really bad food and then didn't eat for long enough that my stomach just like needed to perform a hard reset. So I was just like shitting and vomiting for like 3 days, and then it was fine. And then, but you know, who knows? I had another one of those, speaking of my ass, and it was so bad I went to urgent care at some point because it's like, I don't know, man, this is too many days for this to be happening. And they gave me medicine, but by the time they gave me medicine, I was already actually feeling better. I was just really worried. I don't know. My worry is always that I'll just die. Like I'll just drop dead because I shit too much water out or whatever. Because, you know, dysentery be killing people. That's like a big cause of death worldwide is dysentery. And I don't know how that works. I don't know. You'd think that you could just keep drinking water and then you don't die. But I don't think it works like that. I think if you have dysentery, you don't absorb the water. You just shit it out. I don't know. Great talk. Great way to start the podcast. It's a great follow-up to our excellent introduction bit. Boy, howdy. So we haven't had a show in 2 weeks. What's up, Kevin? What's up with you?
I got a little sick. I won't go into too many gross details, but I was also like vomiting a lot. And then for some reason that triggered hiccups. And I don't mean like little girly kind of hiccups. I mean like feeling like someone was just punching me in the stomach randomly. Like there was no warning. There was no, like I could just be walking. All of a sudden I would just like fall over from the violence of it. And at some point during all of that, I somehow gave myself an abdominal hernia.
The hiccups were too strong, huh?
That's exactly kind of what we think happened. Especially because like I didn't sleep for 2 days. And towards the end of it, I was sort of like drifting in and out of being coherent. And probably what was happening was my muscles were going limp completely and then really hard back on the hiccup.
Right.
And something, you know, a little piece of intestine just got pinched in there in between the muscles. And that's kind of painful. I'm not going to lie.
So you did get a confirmed hernia or whatever. It was confirmed.
Yes.
Fernia. Fuck it. What a great joke for the great speech for the great intro of the podcast. So is it normally those get repaired, right? But some of them do. Does it ever clear up on its own?
Well, what they told me was about 90% of this kind just heal by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you have to watch out for is if more of it falls kind of on the wrong side of because you have these muscles that just hold everything in, and a little piece is sneaked out. Normally, this is a little gross, but like the outside of your intestines is mostly fat. And that little bit can just get pinched off, and just your body knows how to deal with that, and everything's fine. The only problem is like if a major blood vessel gets trapped in there and then cut off, that causes a bunch of tissue death, and then you have to get surgery real fast. So they basically said, as long as it's feeling better on its own, which it has been, just don't do anything. Just, if all of a sudden you feel like you're dying, just come in though, because it can change real fast.
Right. And didn't you say they prescribed you a corset to keep everything?
No, that's just my own personal.
Yeah.
Those pictures were just for you, Spencer.
Oh, thank you. I really value you and your contribution to the show. And my spank bank, hell yeah. So the thing is, no one fucking cares. No one's like, oh my god, there was no show. People are like, oh my god, there's no show. Thank God. Oh my god, I was gonna have to listen to another hour, 12 minutes of this.
Do you think there's someone out there making people listen to this show? Like,
yeah, Jigsaw.
Criminal gangs go around and like gather people up, kind of like
Haven't you seen Saw
kind of
X?
thing.
It's a big subplot of Saw X. It's if you want to live, you have to listen to 3 episodes of That Happens. And they're like, nah, just like rip my head off of my jaw or whatever the fuck, or send rats into my eyes, I think is the new one. And that's like one of the big ones in the new one. Is there's like hamster tubes that go into your eyes. It's like, these rats have been trained on a diet of eyeballs for 60 years. And given artificial life lengthening surgery treatments. Oh my god. Why do I want to do the podcast? That's the question. If this is all that happens, I guess what I'm imagining is me getting really good at doing a podcast, and then being really good and like planning things and coming up with stuff. And then I just get here and I'm like, what's all this for? And I'm forcing other people to do this. Like, it's like, I don't know, because I'm a completionist.
You're not forcing anyone to do anything though.
But that's the thing, is I'm a completionist. I listen to stuff just to get it done. Like sometimes I just got to rip through my podcast queue just to clear it, and I got to imagine there's some people that are like that, where they're like, oh, a new episode came out, better listen to it. And it's more like that than it is excitement. Or also, even if it is excitement, it quickly turns to dread and revulsion.
Yeah.
I don't know. But all of this to say, if you did miss the podcast, which you didn't, no one cares. It's Kevin's fault. It's not my fault.
It was my fault for there was no show. Not Spencer. Don't blame him.
Which, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's this thing where it's like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, people are going to be pissed. Oh, Spencer supports Israel. People are going to be pissed. And again, like, the real thing is like, no, it would be great if someone cared enough to be pissed. Like, no one gives a shit. No one loves me. I'm going to die. Let's read some emails. I thought it could be good to, I don't know. We got soda that we wanted to try, and we have some emails. It's been a bit, so I thought maybe we could just like front load with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Speaking of soda, do you have to go get the soda? I could.
Yes, I will. I'll do that when we read the first email.
I could read it, then I could read it to you again when you come back.
Oh, really? Fill some time. All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. What? That's, yeah, I mean, why would I read it twice? I guess I could just fill time until Kevin gets back. This Kevin. I looked at his chest x-rays and stuff. He doesn't have an abdominal hernia. He's making that up. I mean, you do have a hernia. You didn't make anything up. Anyway, let's get to the first one. I'm going to try and scan this one really. Okay, this one's good. Okay, so Marshall writes, Hello, Spencer. As you might imagine, I was both shocked and appalled at the accusatory and disparaging comments made about me on your show by Real Abed, implying I'm somehow a fake marshal. I've been marshaling people my whole life. I didn't ask for this name. It is both a gift and a curse. But Abed implying I'm fake and saying I missed the mark by calling me Mischel. My last name is literally Hitchell, y'all. That's right. Marshall Hitchell is my name. I don't miss. I hit. In fact, if anyone would have noticed the date of my email, it was sent the Friday before Spencer recorded the podcast about that very subject. It was such an on-time hit. I assumed Spencer read my email and was talking about it on the show and just refusing to mention me, which I was fine with believing, until I got Real Abed calling me out as a fake. Real Abed calling me a fake marshal? That feels like a weird projection. Like maybe Real Abed isn't the real Abed. I didn't want to go there, but maybe Danny Pudi is the better Abed? So respectfully, suck on that, real, in parentheses, but not as good, Abed. P.S. Shout out to Gasnod, always killing it with the audio drops. Love the new email intro. Yeah, thanks, Gasnod. Also, P.S. I may have been too stoned to write this email. If so, disregard. I don't know, Marshall. I think it was good. I think it was a good email. I think we should have Marshall on and Real Abed on at the same time. And then you and me could just leave and see what happens. Two podcast guests enter and one leaves. And the other, usually there's like some sort of undercut bit about, and then the other one leaves or, something like that. But I can't think of it. Okay. So just for the audience, if this is your first episode, check out Hey Riddle Riddle. It's a much better podcast than this. But we had Real Abed on and we read an email from Marshall and it was a good email as far as I know. I don't remember it very specifically, but I remember it being fine. And then Abed was really gunning for a take or something. I don't know. Abed was like, what the fuck is up with this guy? Why is he writing an email asking us questions? I was like, I don't get what you're talking about, man. It just seems like a normal email. But anyway, I think there's something to the idea that Danny Pudi might be the realer Abed than Abed. Like you watch Community and man, that does feel like a real Abed. Whereas like Real Abed, he's underwritten, he's inconsistent. He has a lot of plot holes in his backstory.
He does. But Real Abed has the energy of somebody who's experiencing everything around him for the first time, no matter how many times he's done it before.
Yeah.
And that's one thing
delightful.
It's total chaos, It's like imagine having a guest on a podcast who's never even heard of a podcast before. That's kind of what you get when you bring Abed on.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of how TV works in general, whereas it's kind of glamorizing and stuff. But you watch Community and you see Real Abed, and I mean, I guess every once in a while, like, did I say Real Abed? You watch Community and you watch fake Abed, and every once in a while, he's like coming through being like, Beat Borp, I need to do the show reference. I'm going to ruin everything. I'm going to smash through several walls. And you're like, God damn it, Abed. But like most of the show, it's like, this Abed's great. Like, I'd hang out with this Abed. And then you deal with Real Abed. And it's like, oh, it's not quite so packaged and polished when it's not on Community. It's not written by the incredibly talented Dan Harmon. Maybe we should get Real Abed to get Dan to write him. Does that make sense?
In fairness, though, Abed was on during the writer's strike. So
sure.
Maybe, canonically for him, he could not write his own script while he was on.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I love Abed. I'm sorry, Abed. No one tell Abed we're talking about him. I don't know. There was, I think, Abed, before the last time I got him on the show, he apparently thought I hated him or something. And I think it's because every time prior he'd been on the show, it was really strange. And I think he must have been like, man, Spencer hates me or something. But I don't hate Abed. I love Abed. I love him more than all of his freaking fake friends that are like nice to his face and pranking him, throwing eggs at him. That's not what friends do. Friends don't throw eggs at each other. I don't know if anyone's throwing eggs at Abed. Anyway, let's move on. I don't know, man. What the fuck? I don't even know what's happening anymore. Like, I feel like I used to be kind of like on the pulse of stuff, you know, and know what was going on. You know, the writer strike is kind of ended. It's not like officially ended. We haven't officially ratified the contract as far as I know. I haven't actually even read the entire deal sheet to see what we won. But again, I'm not in the guild anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. But as far as I could tell, it's a really, really good deal. Every specific I have seen is like what we were asking for and stuff. So, hey, you know, there you go. Solidarity wins. SAG's still striking. So I want to kind of, now that WGA is done, I kind of want to go out to the SAG strike and just, you know, help support. Because I've been going by and driving by and seeing them. And it does seem like the numbers have changed a lot, despite the fact that SAG is a much bigger guild than WGA. So I don't know, but that's what else has been happening. I guess like there's some Israel-Palestine thing going on now, and you know, and Twitter's a great place to talk about it because it's overrun by Nazis who don't know shit about shit. So that's good. I don't know. That's all the things I'm aware of right now. Elon Musk's been talking about maybe charging for Twitter, which is so good. I think that would be so good because, you know, he hasn't killed it yet. So come on, like make with the complete death blow already, right? You know, I don't know. I'm trying to use Threads more. The thing with Threads and Blue Sky is that I don't know. I'm sure Twitter was like this too, but they're both pretty bad at onboarding because like when I first started Twitter, it was so early and Twitter was so different and like it was not as monolithic as it is now. And so like you'd follow a couple people and then they'd tweet some people and then you follow some more people. And then slowly you kind of build up, okay, this is what I want my experience to be. But because like you've gone through that process in real time, now moving to Blue Sky and Threads, your experience feels way more limited because you can follow a bunch of accounts, but they feel very siloed and parceled off. Like on Blue Sky, for instance, like I want to say basically I follow, let's just say 40 people. I don't even know if that's true, but those 40 people mostly just retweet other members of those 40 people. So like I'm not like being exposed to new accounts that I want to follow very much, if that makes sense. And Threads is arguably worse because it has the algorithm on Threads, but the algorithm on Threads is fucking garbage. And they're like, who here thinks that people should eat food? And it's like, I wish you die. I want you to die. And so like a lot of the junk in the algorithm feed is just the worst kind of shit you could possibly imagine. And it's like, man, I don't, you know, and also they're allegedly like de-emphasizing news, which like that's what I want. It's like I want an app that tells me what the fuck's going on, you know. So it's been hard to kind of get a decent experience on those apps for me at least.
Somebody made the comment that it feels like we're before when it was just Twitter, everyone was getting together at the same party every day. And now it's like 3 small dead parties that we all just keep mingling between but missing each other.
Yeah, but it's even more than that because of this kind of bubbly nature of it. Each app isn't just one little party where people are missing each other. Each app is composed of even smaller insular groups of party. It's like it's the worst part of the party for me is the late stage party where people have broken off into small groups and are talking quietly, and it's awkward. It's more awkward to kind of float between them, whereas earlier in the party there's a lot more churn and stuff. So it's like I don't even know where the people on that app are or what they like, who they are. And then I feel, I don't know. I've always been like a big reposter, retweeter, etc. But most other people aren't like that. And that's a big way to get exposed to new accounts. You know, I don't know. I think they think it's like a brand thing. They don't want to like, oh, this is my post. This isn't someone else's post. And it's like, get over your fucking self. That's what the app is. Jesus Christ. But whatever. Let's get another email. Russ writes, I'm reading this. No, this is a good email. Hey, Kevin and the Spleen. Love you both and the podcast. As so many others have said, Spencer, listening to you is always a pleasure, and like a kindred spirit is airing similar thoughts to my own. Man, I hope that's not what you feel about this podcast, because these thoughts are garbage. Anyway, your pod is incredibly relatable and a cathartic experience, as Jeff would say. Thank you. But anyway, fuck Jeff. Love to see that your artwork is taking over. As a big Monster Manual fan, it'd be great to hear you carry on some of those old segments like Helga Cruciform, or when you come up with a new twist on a classic monster. Are we ever going to hear your thoughts on the whole Roiland thing? I appreciate for obvious reasons. You probably shouldn't. Or for a less controversial question, how's Jason doing? Keep happening. I don't know, man. With the Roiland, it's so obvious that I don't really know what to say. And I don't know. I don't want to necessarily fuck things up for anybody, if that makes sense. I don't think there's much I could say that'll make things worse or weirder, but I don't know. Justin has always been a really weird guy. He can be funny and rando in like a, I don't know, very specific way. I think that's one of the reasons why fans would kind of flock to certain characters he came up with on the show. Like, I don't think he came up with Mr. Poopy Butthole, but I think Mr. Poopy Butthole is like an example of that kind of very specific kind of Roiland style, if that makes sense. And maybe he did, I can't remember, but there's something about that that's like fun and interesting, but it kind of comes off as like, I think it's very authentic, but it comes off as kind of like a shield or whatever, like a way to kind of like interface with the public, and like as opposed to, you know, getting deep or whatever. And he clearly had a lot of problems whenever I knew him, and I was like, man, this guy needs therapy more than most people have ever needed therapy. It was just the vibe I got. But when I talked to him, and I hope I don't get sued or whatever, but when I talked to him, it was really weird. It could be anything. Like, it could be you ask him a question about something, or you like a question about something creative, or you ask him like how he's doing, or what did he do over the weekend. And this is going to sound exaggerated, so like it's kind of hard to really put a fine point on this, but this is kind of the vibe you get. Or you just ask like, hey, what kind of coffee do you want, or something, and there's this quality of his response feeling like when you're talking to a really young child and what you're saying just doesn't go into their head. Like, the kid might respond to you, but the response is just like whatever they were thinking about. It has nothing to do with like, it was like talking to a baby, if that makes sense, where it's just like you like, they might think or whatever, but then when they respond, it's like, I don't think he heard me. Like, I don't think anything I said like entered his head. Like, it felt like if it wasn't like already something that was his idea, it wasn't something like he was going to take on intellectually, if that makes sense. Which, again, I don't mean this as a dire insult or whatever, but when someone seems to really need therapy and then has that response to new information or ideas, it just nothing sinks in like that. It's like, man, this is just a tragedy, and I do not want to deal with this. You know, it's like you can't really emotionally invest yourself in someone like that, because they need help and they're clearly not going to get it, and there's not really any way you can connect those dots for that person, you know. So that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of my personal take, which is not digging into any of the controversy or whatever. But hey, I don't want to get sued, and I'm worried about getting sued for saying this. And I don't know, what do you want me to say? Like, one time I saw his phone and there was things like, I don't have any gossip or anything, you know. Anyway, okay, so sorry about all that. But okay, so Kevin, on Monster Manual, we would have a segment called Helga Cruciform, and we used to play music for it. Do you have any music, like bed music? Didn't we have that hold music? You probably don't have access to your musical cues here, do you?
I am not at my normal computer right now. But I do have, it's called Please Stand By from Jastonod.
Oh, that's what I was hoping you had. Yeah. Can you get that as like maybe lower audio?
Yes.
Man, Please Stand By is so fucking good. Thanks, Gasnod, for the music. We gotta get money so we can give it to Gasnod. Oh, I just love this. I really love it. I don't know why. There's something about it that, like, he sent it to us, right?
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be like hold music, like it almost sounds like it's from something, like he didn't come up with it, which is not implying anything. But there's just a quality to it where when I'm first listening to it, it's like, yes, no, this is it. It really is. It's perfect. I don't know. Does that make sense? It's exactly what it is. But okay, so on Helga Cruciform, Kevin, one of the things about DMing is sometimes you don't have an NPC name. You go like, a guy comes up to you and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And they're like, "What's your name?" And you're like, "Oh, I did not come up with a name for this NPC." So Helga Cruciform was a segment where me and my co-host Cohen would trade off just kind of riffing names. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So we kind of throw it back and forth. And so I'll start with the first name, Gordon the White. And now you go.
All right. William the Vanquisher.
Haroldine the Herald Queen.
Oh, I like that one. There's a lot of backstory behind that.
Exactly. And that's what Cohen used to do because he was trying to fill time to come up with a new name.
Minos the Unyielding.
Squelchy Pete. That was good. By the way, Minos was really good.
I knew a guy named that, actually.
That's awesome. That was 700 years ago, right?
yes. It was. Dr. Quelch.
Oh, man. Double P.
Double P. All right.
Like W, you know?
Oh, okay.
There should be more double letters. Like, why is it only W, you know?
Yeah.
This song's so fucking good.
Cowboy John.
All right. David Thomas.
Oh, the song's over.
Well, that was great.
Thomas, that's basically guy.
Well, that's Dave Thomas. I'm thinking of David Thomas.
Oh, they had confused.
All different guys. Yeah, man, that song's so good. But that's basically what Helga Cruciform was, except I would use my pocket operator to play like a little loop, and it would be like Helga. It was like on loop. It was cool. I really missed that loop, actually. I wonder if I have it on my computer anyway. We gotta at least do a couple more of these. Lilith writes, "I'm 17 and I just transitioned from male to female. Hey, congratulations. I've been a forever DM for around 8 years, since you were 9. Wow. And the thing I struggle with most is taking notes and writing out sessions. I usually end up improvising it all very poorly with some loose ideas in my head. Do you have any tips or suggestions for bad DMs on how to write a campaign? My dad got me into Harmontown when I was about 10, and I'm now on my 3rd listen through, and I've been really enjoying That Happens. My family recently played through the Jungle of Wayward Wilds campaign, available on the Sixler.itch.io, with my dad DMing, and it was pretty awesome. You've been a huge inspiration, and I love everything Spencer related. Thanks for all you do, Lilith." Thanks so much, Lilith. I mean, I've said this a bunch. It's maybe not great advice or the advice people want to hear, but The Lazy Dungeon Master is a book by a guy called The Sly Flourish. Lazy Dungeon Master's Guide, or The Lazy DM, I think. Lazy Dungeon Master. Just Google that. And it really does explain exactly how to do this. It's really good. He's written some new versions. I think the new versions are better. Although I have only read the recent version. And he also has some other books, and he has a blog that talks about various subjects, but I really recommend the book. You should buy it. Everyone should pay for stuff. I'm pretty sure if you just Google like PDF or something, you could find it for free though, if you really need to. But I don't recommend that. I mean, this guy is really he's been helpful for my DMing a lot. Although I still kind of do my DMing the way I do it. But basically, the headline of what he talks about is it's really hard to know what to focus on as a DM, like what to focus your notes on. Like, do you just come up with really elaborate puzzles and then hope that they get to the puzzles? Do you come up with really complicated, machinations and secret societies doing all these things, and then the gang just gets in a fight at a tavern and doesn't involve themselves in any of that? It can be pretty frustrating to be a DM because you're coming up with stuff that you might not ever encounter unless you're hardcore railroading, which a lot of people don't like railroading, and it can feel uncomfortable to try to be railroading, to kind of force your players to do whatever your storyline is. And a lot of times when they feel that, the players might actively rebel against the storyline you're trying to railroad them onto. So the basic tenet of the Lazy DM's Guide, as I recall it, which again, you should just read it. You shouldn't listen to me. But it's like you come up with 3 basic locations. You don't even necessarily need maps for the locations, although it'll be helpful to have a couple battle maps that you can use either in the locations or near the locations, or just battle maps that are kind of vague that you can map onto any of the locations, because battle maps are a bit more in depth than just location descriptions. You could describe a tavern without having a tavern map, for instance. But if you go to battle, it might be better to have a battle map that has tables and a counter and stuff, But you come up with 3 locations, you come up with 3 factions, and you make the factions somewhat at odds with each other. And then each faction has 3 major characters. So it's 3-3-3. Locations, factions, characters. And the factions have goals that are at odds with each other. They probably should interact with the locations in some way. And then the characters need to have specific motives and stuff. And so what that gives you is, since the factions and the characters are at odds with one another in some way, then no matter what your characters do, it'll cause ripples through the whole web. So let's say there's a writers guild, and you come up on a strike, and the writers guilds are at the strike. You could decide to help them strike, and so you're on their side. And then the other faction, the overlords, they could show up and try to break the strike. And so now, because you've taken an action, this other group is now taking an action that's putting into conflict with you. Or maybe your characters don't engage with the strike. Maybe they're not paying attention to the strike at all. Maybe they just see a big guy and say, "Hey, fuckface, what are you doing?" And fuckface is like, "Hey, don't call me that. I'm going to kick your ass." And so then you have a fight on your hands without having any clue what that faction is doing. But because you have a fight on your hands, maybe another group witnesses that and says, "Hey, man, you want a lot of money to scab or something?" And now you're on the side of the second faction because you've just taken a random action against the first faction, etc. That's a very bad way to explain it. Who explains it well is the Sly Flourish in his book, The Lazy DM. Please, if you listen to that advice and you like that advice, please give him money, because I'm running out of ways to recommend people check out The Lazy DM's Guide. It's the single best resource I've ever encountered for a DM. I think the D&D books specifically, I've said this before, but they're like grammatical texts. They're like, oh, I before E except after C. Here's how you spell a word, and here's how you conjugate a verb. And then you're like, yeah, but I'm writing a story. What do I write a story about? You've told me how to grammatically spell the words in a story, but you haven't told me story structure. You haven't told me what a good character is, etc. And so like it gives you all these tools, and then you have no philosophical understanding of how to apply those tools, which is a really big gap in teaching someone something. It's really ineffective. I think there's other D&D books, or not D&D books. There's other RPGs that aren't D&D where the books do a lot better job of kind of giving you that missing philosophical part. But I think everything in the Lazy DM is really applicable to almost everything. So instead of going into, say, Fate Accelerated Core and reading that book to learn about how you should DM in D&D, you might as well just paste Life Flourish. So yeah, that's my answer. And there's not any other questions there. I'm getting kind of. Maybe we do one more. I don't know. Where are we at for time anyway?
We got. Oops.
Man, that song was so good. Gaston's so talented. God damn. How do you get? He has a Bandcamp, right? Like gaston.bandcamp.com. I don't know.
We had about then half an hour left.
I gotcha. But yeah, so you know, I think if you pay Gaston money, he'll make like sound bumpers and stuff for you. So you should seek him out for sure. Give him money to make some cool music for you. He actually does a lot of. He's pretty cross discipline. He can make a lot of different sounds. You know, he's made a lot of different sounds for us, including like. I don't remember if our theme song is like 8-bit. It's kind of 8-bitty, right? The opening theme. He definitely has like a version that's more 8-bit or something, if that's not the 8-bit one. But he can do kind of chiptune stuff. He did that like heavy metal guitar driven stuff. You know, he can do more, or like the Please Wait music is maybe what I think of when I think of more kind of just FL Studio kind of stuff, you know, just with electronic instruments and stuff. I don't know. And if I'm mischaracterizing that, I'm sorry. But man, real talent. This is why we're here, folks, to convince you to give other people your money. And speaking of giving other people your money, I don't have any ads written down, so the ads will return next episode. Hi, Spencer. I'm not reading this one. This one looks okay. Willem writes, "Hi, Spencer. This is Willem from the Netherlands, and hopefully not the only international fan you guys have, because you truly give out some worldly wisdom and support. I have been listening to you since the dawn of Harmontown, and your conversations with Kevin, Jeff, and guests have helped me really keep myself centered and provide enormous joy every week. I had a question I'd hoped you'd be able to answer or discuss on the pod. Of course, I'm a huge nerd. Think D&D, board games, Magic the Gathering, miniatures, video games, etc. Moreover, though, I am also a post-producer and creative in the film industry here. Back to my question. Aside from Harmon Quest, have you ever noticed that your interests and skills in nerddom have benefited you in the creative processes of the series/movie industry? Keep up the amazing podcast, and I hope to be able to see and support you any of your future projects." I mean, you said aside from Harmon Quest is really one of the only thing that I've been doing creatively, you know, like officially. I think I was always a huge fan of cartoons, and making Harmon Quest, I think a lot of that cartoon experience really paid off. Like I could talk about cartoons, I could reference tropes of cartoons. I don't know. Like basically, I didn't think that doing cartoons was ever in the cards for me. But when I was doing Harmon Quest, it was like, oh, all of this like knowledge from my past just kind of kept coming up, and it's like, oh, this is such great applicable experience. But you said aside from Harmon Quest, I mean, I'm trying to come up with new ideas and stuff. Most of them are animated, and I think it's the same thing. Although, I don't know. It's just like when Dan talks about movies and stuff, he uses a lot of movie references and TV references, and Schraub does this too, especially visuals for Schraub because he's a director, so he's thinking about shots and frames and stuff. And I kind of do that with cartoons to a lesser extent. But I'm not super well versed in like live action stuff. And I think so that's like a big hole in what I do. So I just kind of have to lean on cartoon knowledge instead, which isn't as good, honestly. Cartoons are kind of derivative of film and movies, so it'd be better to just actually have seen the original sources rather than these kind of watered down tropey takes on them. But I don't know, you know. That's really all I got, I think. I don't know. I think like most of my experience probably comes from like working for Dan and stuff, listening to the writer's room, and I think that's given me a really good grasp of like story structure in a way that cartoons are often like either they copy a story structure from like a TV or movie they're parodying, or they just have really bad structure a lot of times. So I don't think I learned very much of that, other than maybe anime, because I think anime has pretty interesting structures. Although those structures are like it's all serialized. Is that the word, or is it not serialized? Whatever. But you know they have like longer form storytelling that's starting to be in vogue now. But it used to be really unpopular in Western stuff to be kind of this longer form story told across several episodes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Well, let's try the soda. I guess we should have tried the soda earlier. This thing is sweating. What do we have today? Y3000 by Coca-Cola Creations. Futuristic flavor. It was co-created with artificial intelligence, which I think I looked it up, and it doesn't really mean what it sounds like. It's not like they're like, "Hey AI, come up with a flavor of Coke," but that's kind of the marketing they're going with. I don't know. What about you, Kevin? What do you think? First impressions?
It sounds like a gimmick. I've been wanting to try this for a while, but I can't imagine, for one, that artificial intelligence is going to mean anything in creating flavors. That's too abstract of a topic for it, I think.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
We would have easily thought of ourselves or come up with something absolutely repulsive, but
exactly. Go ahead.
I'm curious to try it. You know, I want to see what it tastes like, but I don't have high hopes for this.
Yeah, I'm not good at podcasting anymore. It's been only 2 weeks, and my skills have completely atrophied. But yeah, I don't know. I asked ChatGPT the other day. I was like, come up with a menu for a restaurant, like a 5-course meal for a restaurant, where the restaurant concept is ChatGPT restaurant. You know, and it came. Hold on, let me I actually have this. It was so stupid. ChatGPT has been nerfed, dude. Have you noticed this?
Yeah. I mean, it's getting better in some places, but it's getting dumber in others.
It's getting dumber in all the ways that were interesting and vaguely exciting at the very onset, you know? It's very depressing to me, which whatever. It's I guess it's better for reality and society that
I mean, I think we were enjoying it a lot initially because it was just so hilariously bad. Like it was in that uncanny valley almost, though, of like being human enough, but just wrong about everything, that it was hysterical. Yeah. And now it's to the point that it's like it's so good that most of the time it's boring for the fun we were trying to have with it, but not good enough to actually use.
But yeah, but that's the thing is like a lot of the things that have gotten better, it's kind of presentation has gotten better, but the actual core, like the brain of it, is like tuned down. So it's like it feels less creative, less capable of answering the tasks that it could do. I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird how it's changed over time. Anyway, so I asked it, what did I ask? Come up with a menu of a 5-course meal for a restaurant concept that's a fine dining experience invented by ChatGPT to showcase the brilliance of AI. And it writes, welcome to the AI gastronomy experience where the brilliance of AI meets fine dining. Here's a 5-course meal designed to showcase the capabilities of ChatGPT. Appetizer, Linguistic Symphony, a delicate blend of wordplay and flavors featuring a trio of amuse-bouches representing different languages and cultures. Soup, Neural Net Consomme, a rich, clear broth infused with the essence of diverse ingredients, demonstrating the ability of AI to distill information and generate precise insights. You see, like, it's like writing like a fucking poem or something. Like, what the fuck? Like, well, Data Sorbet, Virtual Delight and it says at the very end, note, this menu is conceptual and intended to highlight the capabilities of AI. The actual dishes may vary based on the chef's interpretation and creativity. So, like, I don't know. I feel like the old ChatGPT would actually just shit out like a menu, you know, not like pull whatever the fuck this is. And then I said, that's funny, but I meant like for a literal restaurant with real food. And then it just like came like a fucking basic ass. It was like seared salads with citrus foam, truffle mushroom veloute, herb crusted rack of lamb, lemon sorbet, chocolate lava cake with raspberry coulis, which I don't know. You could have that at a restaurant, but I wouldn't want to get any of this stuff at a restaurant. Like, it all feels very basic. I'm sure it would come out good if it was cooked well or whatever, but none of that really excites me in any way. It doesn't feel creative or interesting in any way. I don't even know if the dishes would come together. We got to try the soda. Sorry. So, all of this is to say, I'm sure the Chat GPT was like, what if you made a soda that was very cool and interesting? And they're like, great. I guess we'll just go back to our normal development team. So I'm smelling it. I want to say it smells kind of gingery. There's a lot of spice, maybe cinnamon, maybe pepper, but there's like a really strong spice flavor that smells different. Do you want to take the first sip, or you want me to go for it?
You go first. I'm still sniffing. I'm trying to place what the smell is.
It's spicy though, right? It's something spice.
It's almost
scary
like
spice,
or a cardamom, or
yeah, I could see cardamom, and it's sweet too. There's a sweet smell off of it. What a
well, that's the thing. It smells sickeningly sweet without even tasting. Okay, Spencer's trying it.
So, yeah, no, the spice note is really top. Like, that's kind of the first thing that hits you is the sweetness and the spice, and it's like, what the fuck is this spice? It's not a good flavor, and it feels like it's the kind of flavor that would want to accompany a lot of other flavors, Like, it shouldn't be the main body of a flavor. I hesitate to say it's like cinnamon soda almost or something. And it's like, you wouldn't make a fucking cinnamon soda. That would be insane. That would be like some Lester's Fixin' ass shit.
Yeah, okay, Spencer's just sipping again. He just doesn't look pleased. Almost in pain.
Yeah. I want to say there's like some anisey notes to it, kind of like a licorice.
Okay.
Which again is like, if a Chat GPT was like, hey, you should make a licorice soda, a black licorice soda, I'd say like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, are you really like is this opinions that you're kind of copying and collating? Like, because that's not what anyone wants. It's fucking licorice soda. I don't know. You want to give it a taste?
All right, let me see here.
Kevin sipping. Oh boy, he looks hot. Kevin looks hot as hell, dude. Check out the podcast, thathappenspod.com, to see how hot Kevin is.
I mean, it's an unplaceable flavor, I think, at least for me. It's not what I would call pleasant. I mean, it's not, I don't hate it, but it's just Coke, but worse.
I wish it was more Cokey, though. Like, it feels like the Coke is really muted compared to, like, I want to see how much phosphoric acid this shit has. Okay, phosphoric acid is really low on the flavor profile. It's actually the last ingredient behind or ahead of caffeine. So phosphoric acid is usually one of the prime flavors of Coke, one of the main ingredients. So it's not, it doesn't have that burn to it like Coke does. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it feels like they've added kind of like some either bitter or strong spices, like, just not, it doesn't taste like this, but like imagine a cumin flavored soda that you have to compensate for that by adding a whole bunch of sweetness to cover it up, because otherwise it would be just repulsive.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is like, it's spices of some sort. I want to say there's ginger in here, but ginger needs like sour, like you need some sort of like lime juice or something to go with ginger, and it doesn't have that. I think there's cinnamon, but again, there's not a body for the cinnamon. You don't just have something that's cinnamon flavored. You have cinnamon apple, you have cinnamon honey or something, like cinnamon brings complexity to a strong, but often overpowering, maybe cloying, maybe fatty or rich flavor. It doesn't really hold together on its own. I'm getting like vague fruity notes. They're like tropical fruit, maybe. I don't think it's banana, but maybe a little bit banana-y. I don't think we even tried that. Did we try the Ultimate XP flavored Coke that tastes like banana Coke?
I've tried it, but I don't think we tried it on the show.
Yeah, it just tastes like banana Coke. There's not much to say about it, It's no mango Pepsi, for sure. I don't know, man. I'm not liking this. I think it's very bad. And I like AI, so it's sad that it sucks. It's just more evidence of ChatGPT being nerfed and some such. I don't know. That's my last taste. I'm not trying any more of this.
Yeah,
I've been trying to not drink soda. I've been drinking Replenish Zero, the 7-Eleven brand Gatorade.
How does that compare to Rated?
I don't like regular Gatorade that much. But something about Replenish Zero, it doesn't really have a lot of it doesn't have sugar or anything. Or whatever. It has very little. It's like the whole bottle is supposed to be like 10 calories or whatever. And it's like 28 ounces. I think it's sweet enough. It has citric acid, so it's usually pretty tangy. But something about it really works in a way that diet soda typically doesn't for me. And I'm happy to be drinking it. I'm glad. Like, there's one day where I tried Powerade Zero, and it tastes a lot like Powerade Zero. But Powerade Zero doesn't show up in stores anymore, and so I'm glad Replenish. And it got replaced with Replenish Zero. Like, I wonder if it's like literally just rebranded or something, because you used to be able to find Powerade Zero at 7-Eleven, and then it stopped, and in its place they were putting Replenish Zero. But I don't know, for whatever reason, Gatorade with zero sugars or whatever, the Diet Gatorade or something, I think tastes like ass. It tastes like fucking nothing. Whereas these, I think the flavor of the fruit or whatever comes through pretty well. I don't know. This sucks. This whole thing sucks. We fucking have fucking Coke Y2K, Y3K. Jesus Christ. Should we just end the show early? I'm kind of out.
Well, actually, before we end it, I had a surprise for you. I've never tried this, but I have a segment we're going to try to do right now.
Kevin, you gotta run this shit by me. You can't be springing me this shit.
Stuff on me all the time, okay? I figured for one time I'm going to do this to you, okay?
That's my bit. That's what I do. Is I fuck you up. I make you struggle. You don't make me struggle. I struggle enough in my everyday life. Whatever. All right. Whatever.
Let's do this. You're gonna.
What?
Before the show, I have asked ChatGPT to write questions in the style of "Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?" Okay, and I asked him to write it about a topic that I know you're passionate about, which is Mountain Dew. Okay. We're gonna play "Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?" We have two lifelines. You can either do 50-50, we remove the incorrect answers, or we can ask Discord. Okay. They're increasingly difficult questions, but there's one twist that ChatGPT added on its own because it wasn't generating questions that were great. So I kept telling it, no, go back. These are too easy. Like, the $1 million question has to be harder. The problem is that when I pushed it hard enough, it started just making things up. Okay, so not only do you have to answer ChatGPT-based Mountain Dew questions, at some point, the questions turn into just totally made-up nonsense. So you have to guess what ChatGPT is going to ask you and what answer it's going to make up.
Okay, I take back everything I said. You got to do something like this every week. I think this is.
Does that make sense? Like at some point the questions become just made up nonsense, and you have to guess what ChatGPT's answer is.
I mean, it doesn't make sense, but I understand it. If that makes sense.
I also asked it because I want to make it so that we don't stop late. Something that does when you get a question wrong. So I asked it for what good punishments or rewards should be. So it told me that if you did not like the drink that we just tried, every question you get wrong, you have to have another sip of.
So ChatGPT doesn't even like the soda it came up with?
Apparently not.
I mean, I guess maybe it didn't know that we were drinking its own idea.
Yeah. Hey, are you ready?
Okay. Oh, I'm ready.
All right, let's do this.
I'm so ready. I feel like we should have done this earlier. We're going to have to race through this. God damn it. This is so good. Holy shit. This music. Gaston wrote all this music.
All right, question one.
Oh my God.
Mountain Dew is primarily known as a type of A, chew, smartphone, B, soft drink, or D, musical instrument.
Whatever the soft drink one was. What one was that? Was that B or C?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Popular carbonated soft drink that was created in the 1940s.
Oh man.
Question 2 for $200. What color is a traditional Mountain Dew drink? Red, green, blue, or clear?
Oh man. Green.
That's also correct.
Do you have the commercial music or like the kind of like take a break or whatever?
I do, but I don't have it up.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Question 3. Mountain Dew was originally formulated as a mixer for which alcoholic beverage? Vodka, rum, whiskey, or tequila?
Whiskey. People, I bore people with this detail, and they're like, "What? There's no way that's true." And I'm like, "It's the one thing I know is that it was made for as a whiskey mixer."
That is also correct. All right, question 4 for $500. Which company owns Mountain Dew? Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper Snapple, or Nestle?
Oh, I think it's Snapple. No, it's Pepsi.
That is correct. Mountain
Snapple owns Pepsi, right?
Dew. Snapple owns Dr. Pepper.
Oh, what? Okay.
Okay. Question 5. Now, this is the $1,000 question. So if you get this right, you keep your $1,000. If you get it wrong, you lose everything. Okay.
Is that how it works?
But there's steps where when you get that, if you're locking that money in.
Okay.
Okay. Question 5. Which of the following is not a Mountain Dew flavor variant? Code Red, Pitch Black, Crystal Clear, or Baja Blast?
Oh man, this one's so easy. It's Baja Blast. Lock it in. No, I'm kidding. It's crystal clear. Final answer. Oh man.
Many flavor variants over the years. Crystal Clear is just not one of them.
That man, these music stings are so good.
Okay, this improves now. Okay, so are you ready for question 6? Where we get harder now at this point.
Sure, yeah.
All right. I spent so much time on this.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right, see how it gets spooky now?
Yeah.
What decade did Mountain Dew introduce the Do the Dew campaign? 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, or the 2010?
Fuck. I'm gonna go with 2000s. The 90s sounds right, but no.
It was the 90s.
God damn it!
Gotta take a sip.
I don't think of myself as being sentient in the 90s, so, but I don't know. Ugh. It tastes like lost jobs.
All right.
What the fuck is this flavor? We gotta ask ChatGPT. Cheat GPT is what I like to call it. What flavor it is?
All right. Question 7.
God
What
damn it!
was prominently featured early Mountain Dew commercial? Was it a lion, a beagle, a bear, or a hillbilly?
A lion, an eagle, a bear, or a hillbilly? A hillbilly.
Okay, is that your final answer? We have to lock them in now.
Lock it in.
All right.
No. Wait.
No, that's the dramatic music.
Oh, wait. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Ah, yeah.
Early Mountain Dew advertised Billy the Hillbilly. What can it another?
You're cutting in them out just for a little bit audio-wise, just so you know.
Okay. Let me see if I can improve that a little bit.
Yeah, there's not too much to do about it, I don't think. But, man, this music's so good. No wonder this show was on the air for so long. It's like all on the back of the music.
Now, I didn't do this actually, but in the real version of it, every question that it goes up half a step in the pitch to add tension and all this. I got lazy and only set up one of each one, but it actually surprisingly works really well to build. The people who made this were just geniuses.
Yeah.
All right. Question 8. Which Mountain Dew flavor was exclusively introduced in Taco Bell restaurants? Was it Solar Flare,
Come on.
Baja Blast, Supernova, or Typhoon?
Baja Blast. Lock it in. Lock the gates. Boomer lives.
Who got that right?
Of course I did.
Baja,
That's so much harder than Do the Do or Hillbilly. Or easier, I meant. Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
Baja Blast was created exclusively for Taco Bell restaurants in 2004, but has since been sold in stores.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
it has.
Question 9. This would be for $6,000. Which ingredient in Mountain Dew has been the subject of urban legends and misconceptions about its use in antifreeze? Is it A, citric acid, B, caffeine, C, tartrazine, or D, brominated vegetable oil?
I think D, brominated vegetable oil.
That's your final answer? Do you want to ask the chat? Do you want to...
Well, we get to keep going, right? Because I just have to drink this
Right, so-
horrid soda.
Save your lifelines if you want.
I'll save that. One of the lifelines should be me burping. No, lock it in. BVO.
All right.
Oh, God. It was Oh, yeah!
There is a myth that BVO, which is used in Mountain Dew to keep the flavor evenly distributed, is also a main ingredient in antifreeze. But in reality, BVO is used in some flame retardants, but not in antifreeze.
Yeah, and it's not good for you, and I don't think they have it in there anymore as of way too late. Like, I've probably been drinking a lot of BVO and Mountain Dew, which I shouldn't have been. But hey.
All right, so we're going up to this level here.
How many questions are left, just so I know how fast to be?
Question 10 of 15. We're on right
Oh,
now.
great. Okay, this is great. This is perfect.
All right. Question 10 for $32,000. And this is where you lock it in again. So if you get this right, you lock in $32,000. If not, you lose everything.
Oh, nice.
Which of these countries banned Mountain Dew because of its BVO content? A, USA, Canada, B, Japan, or D, India?
I'm pretty sure Canada did ban it. I'm pretty sure India did ban it. I want to say Japan banned it too.
Not just
And
banned
we know.
because of
Let's say again. Because of the BVO. So Canada had problems with Mountain Dew because of the caffeinated content of it. Because for some reason, some countries are like, if it's caffeinated, it has to be brown. You can't have a yellow soda with caffeine. So let's rule out Canada. Japan feels right, but I just want to go with India. And of course, we know that ChatGPT could just be bullshitting answers at this point. So, let's just go with India. I don't know. India feels right. Lock it in. C was India? No, D was India.
Ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, ban Mountain Dew. Vegetable content, a controversial ingredient.
Yeah, I read that on Wikipedia somewhere at some point while doing this podcast.
All right. Ready for next question?
Yeah, of course.
11. What year did Mountain Dew launch its Game Fuel variant, promoted in connection with video games? A, 2004, B, 2007, C, 2010, or D, 2012? So it's 4, 7, 10, or 12.
I think it's B. I think it's 2007. It's possible it was 2004. No, I'm almost certain it came out when I was working at Borders, and I didn't work at Borders until I was like out of high school or just out of high school. So yeah, it could have been 2004. Let's just go with 2007.
2007? That's your final answer.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah.
Mountain Dew Game Fuel was introduced in 2007 in the game Halo 3.
Yeah, Master Chief. That was like one of the best flavors of Game Fuel too. They made other ones that I don't think tasted as good. And I had a lot of Borders. Oh man, me and my friend Ivan, we used to talk about novelty sodas a lot. It was great. Man, this is making me feel pretty smart, I gotta say. I know it's all stupid, but I feel pretty good at the worst thing to be smart about. Like, this couldn't possibly matter less. Whatever.
All right, question 12. In the mid 2000s, Mountain Dew ran a promotion where fans could vote for a new permanent flavor. Which flavor won this competition? A. Supernova. B. Voltage. C. Revolution. Or D. Typhoon.
I thought you were gonna say like Hitler was right or whatever. Didn't that win one of the Mountain Dew competitions? Pretty sure it was Voltage. Voltage.
Final answer.
Yeah, final answer. Lock it in. Hey!
Promotion known as Dew Mock allowed fans to sample and vote on potential new flavors. Out on top and was added as a permanent flavor to the Mountain Dew lineup.
That was also, I actually liked, I don't remember what it was called. Maybe it was Typhoon. No, it was Whiteout. I guess Whiteout was a different year. But Voltage was definitely my pick. I thought Voltage was the best. And I get it sometimes. We had Maura Quint on, and she liked the Voltage as well.
All right. Question 13. This would be for $250,000. In a partnership with the video industry, Mountain Dew released a flavor named after which iconic game character? A. Mario. B. Master Chief. C. Kratos. D. Sonic the Hedgehog.
You said in a partnership with what?
In a partnership with the video game industry.
Oh, got it, yeah.
Or which iconic character?
Master Chief, right? I feel like ChatGPT is going to say it was Mario for some reason. But let's just go with Master Chief.
Okay, is that your final answer?
It's going to have to be, I'm afraid. Was it Kratos?
No, well, actually, so you both were sort of wrong.
Uh-huh.
The question was, it was named after what character, and there was nothing named after Master Chief either.
There's nothing named after any of these.
Right.
Was it Mario?
Mountain Dew released a flavor called Sonic Sour as a nod to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Damn. Yeah, that's pretty smart. I should have guessed that. That would be fucking good, dude. A Sonic Sour Mountain Dew. I'd be so down with that.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta drink this fucking horse shit.
Got 2 questions left. You'll have both lifelines too, so feel free to use those if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Question 14 for $500,000. What unique bottle design feature was introduced with Mountain Dew's Dew Shine variant? A square bottle. B, a glow-in-the-dark label. A transparent label. Or D, a clear glass bottle with a vintage look.
Can we do 50-50 on this one?
All right. Your choices are square bottle or clear glass bottle with a vintage look.
I think I gotta go with D, a clear glass bottle with a vintage look. This is not true, I don't think. Yeah, there we go.
But that was not, it completely made this up. Shine was a Mountain Dew variant that was packaged in clear glass bottles with a vintage appearance, reminiscent of its moonshine origins.
Yeah, I was like, I definitely would have heard of Dew Shine. Although that's a good enough idea. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they do something like that, but I just was pretty sure they didn't do that.
Okay. Last question. This is for $1 million, Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Take as much time as you need. And remember, you can always ask chat too.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew once released a special edition flavor in Japan that was flavored like a famous American breakfast item. What was this flavor? A, bacon. B, pancake syrup. C, cereal milk. Or D, Cheetos.
I'd like to phone the audience.
All right. So, audience,
Discord.
we have to kill a few seconds here because they're behind us a little bit. Let us know in the channel, if you're watching this live, what you think Spencer should vote for. Is it A, bacon, B, pancake syrup, C, cereal milk, or D, Cheetos?
Oh, this is like Ask the Audience. I was thinking this was more like Phone a Friend, because I wanted to phone the friend that was the audience and say, hey, audience, I'm about to win $1 million because I know the answer. Remember when that one guy did that?
That was
like,
that was pretty good. I was okay. We're getting some.
I'm just locking it in. Bacon. I'm locking in bacon. Honestly, all of these answers seem reasonable, but
all right. So I'm gonna.
Are you tabulating the audience's score?
We actually have one vote for each.
Great. Fuck you guys.
Good luck with that, everybody. So yeah,
Fucking bacon.
you're going for bacon. Are you sure that's the answer you want?
It feels like a ChatGPT answer, assuming this isn't a real question.
Yeah, no, this not actually happen.
Yeah. What was the last one?
Cheetos. So it was bacon, pancake syrup, cereal milk, or Cheetos.
Thing about Cheetos is they did do Flamin' Hot, which is like Cheetos. But honestly, cereal milk just sounds vile. But the other three seem like solid answers, especially for Japan and especially for ChatGPT. But bacon just feels like the most.
Okay.
Most.
Is that your final answer?
My final answer and my final offer. No! And after my hubris.
In 2009, Mountain Dew released a flavor called pancake syrup in Japan as a limited edition offering.
Is that fake too?
That was all completely made up.
Yeah. God damn it.
So anyway,
my hubris.
And it did actually better than I thought this was going to go.
Yeah, that was great, man. Oh boy. And that's our show, everybody. I guess.
Time it that well. Wow, we did.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been going to the EMDR therapy, and I wanted to talk a little bit about more, but maybe we can talk about that next week or something. I don't have too much to say about it, honestly, but it's been going good if you're curious. What else? We still want to put the Patreon names on the end of the show. What?
I can do that for this episode.
Oh, wow. So I guess we're starting that now. Yeah. So thank you to our patrons. And, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll read them out loud or something at some point. That could be real fun. You know, we're figuring this out. Give me money. Jesus Christ.
Join Spencer's Patreon. I'm a member. You know, it's well worth it. You to have a little of Spencer's private life.
Yeah. Kevin's being nice, you guys. It's not worth it. I feel really bad about it. I feel like Jeff when Jeff wasn't doing anything for his Patreon. But hey, whatever. What else? I think that's it. Yeah, I don't know. What's next on the thing? It looks like Video Apocalypse is up next, huh?
Apocalypse, and then the Tally Kazoo Show, and then Aaron Pierce and Kate Freund have a new show called Action Explosion at 8 p.m. Pacific tonight that we're airing.
Man, I fucking love Aaron Pierce and Kate Freund. I hope this is a great show. You gotta stay tuned, folks. Don't touch that dial. You know how we all have computers with big dials on them? Yeah. We have any final thoughts?
No. Watch us on shophomevideo.com on Sundays and join Spencer's Patreon and have a good week, everybody.
Yeah, we like to end the show the same way we do every week. So until next time, it's time for Kevin's final thoughts.
Spencer, we love you. Remember that.
Thank you. Bye, folks.